when I was coaching, sort of in real life before the internet, and coaching junior players, there were the tennis parents. Some were great to deal with, some not as great to deal with. So how do you manage? For all the coaches watching this, they all understand this. If you're coaching a junior, you have to manage tennis parents. So maybe, do you have any advice there? Or maybe if you're a tennis parent out there, what advice would you give a parent to ultimately facilitate your child having the most fun in the game, right? And becoming passionate about tennis? Because I don't know about you, but I feel like players are most successful when they're passionate about the game, when they just love it. They're having a great time. Yeah,
that's right. Well, I mean, you can look at it from both perspectives.
Yeah.
And from both perspectives, you have to know also how passionate is the parent, or how passionate is this coach. If you are a passionate parent, then you want to make sure that this coach knows that you're a passionate parent, that they know that you're at home still talking to your kid about their routines and about their or work, what they're doing on the court. Please communicate that with the coach. If the coach doesn't know this and then feels that the parent are too much involved, this may cause friction. However, if you know that the parent is involved as a coach, you almost want to say, okay, great, because you can actually get into my story of what I'm trying to achieve, and you can actually have the assistant of a parent to help them.
You guys are on the same team now.
Exactly. Get on the same page. Okay. Honesty is very important, and be straightforward.
Okay.
Be really honest, and that's most important from the parent and from the coach. We're talking about adults.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about then the child that is involved, help each other, work your way. And if you say, listen, I just want you to hit with my kid, don't want you to give him any advice, because that's what I'm doing those other 5 hours I'm on court with him, please tell the coach. Please let them know, because then the kid will benefit from that.
Okay.
At the end of the day, that's what we want.
So it comes back to communication, listening, and you're not just giving information, you're also receiving it, and sort of figuring out, okay, this is what.
Make sure where you stand, in which position, where do you stand? Are you the captain of the ship?
Yeah.
Or is the parent captain of the ship? Decide one captain, please.
Okay, decide one captain. All right, that's good advice. The coach is not always the captain of the ship. So if I'm a tennis parent, then or I'm a student, or maybe I'm a club player, what should I look for in a coach? Are there any? What do you? We talked about this a little bit. What makes a good coach? But if let's say I'm a 3-5 or a 4-0 and I'm going to the court, is there a particular thing you think is important to kind of, other than the fact that they're good listeners, I guess would be the
Well, if you're going to invest some money in yourself and you want to get better, why don't you just ask a coach and you pay that first lesson and you say, listen, I want to talk to you. Instead of going straight on the court like 99% of everybody does. Yeah. Let's go back on the court, let's go straight on the court. No, let's have a coffee. Let's sit down. Let's see who this person is. Let's see if he's interested. Some of these coaches may have too many students and find it very difficult to channel that interest to each student, which is okay if you're looking for somebody who can feed you balls and give you some basic need of structure. But if you're going to invest an X amount, have a coffee.
It's almost the personal connection is
the personal
more
connection.
important
You will
than
maximize. You will maximize. You'll get a lot more out of the first 4 lessons than if you use those four lessons to actually get to know your coach, or the coach to get to know your student. And if the coach does it, it's also very important. Sometimes the coach will say, listen, you know what? Let's sit down and see what you want to achieve. What are you here for?
That's so interesting. I love conversations like this, because I feel like, I don't know about y'all watching this, but a lot of this is not necessarily like obvious stuff you would think. I mean, like you said, most people come out on the court and just hit me some balls, give me some advice, and that's actually not really going to necessarily set you up for success long term. So what I want to do right now, you have a website called Orange Coach, a company called Orange Coach, and tell us a little bit about Orange Coach and sort of what the mission is there.
Orange Coach is a platform for coaches to find jobs Our industry is worldwide now. It's a global sport. Some coaches of you have ambitions to be overseas. We provide that service to find the jobs and allocate those jobs around the world to coaches that are members of our platform, and we give them advice on contractual advice or some sort of a management advice as well for coaches, specifically to those that have the ambition to also go international.
Okay, so it's very much, I think most coaches really understand, the X's and O's of tennis. They know how to teach technique, but maybe some of the business end of things might not be as obvious. We were talking recently, I was just down in Orlando at the PTR Symposium talking about the internet, because what I do I think is a great opportunity for coaches, but the internet is another one of those things that's not necessarily obvious or easy to figure out. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like Orange Coach is the business side of the industry to a large extent. It's getting placement at clubs and getting advice and consulting, sort of on your career moves.
That's right. I felt, and I still feel today, that we as coaches can benefit from this help, and this help is not always available. And from the national associations, they may be available. But internationally, you're not always easy to find that platform. And where do you go? If you have the ambition, if you have the ambition to go on tour, where do you go?
Where's that resource?
Where you can get that resource? Where you get that information?
So if I'm a coach that wants that assistance, I come to your website. What happens? Do I sign up? It's just there's a sign up form right there, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3, so to speak.
You click on the homepage, and it's a very simple process like any other website, and you look through it. I have a blog in there as well. Give a little bit of feedback of what I do on a daily basis. And
can they ask you questions there and sort of like help me out here and get some feedback?
Yes, we do. Okay. For the members, we do. We give special feedback on areas where we can help out. Okay.
Well, great guys. If you're an aspiring coach out there, orangecoach.com.
That's right.
Get yourselves set up and got access to this guy right here, who is kicking butt on the Pro Tour, and one of the best coaches in the world. So, Sven, this was an awesome interview.
Pleasure.
Your insights were great. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And look forward to doing it sometime in the future.
Looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Will.